Welcome to another World of Tanks subscriber replay. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's video was sent in by the user Werewolf24, that's Werewolf24, and he is driving the S-35 CA, which is the tier 5 tank destroyer for the French, and it is a standard battle on Airfield. So, you know, if you've watched the channel for any length of time, I don't generally show many tank destroyer replays, and that's just because tank destroyers generally are used in ambush operations and for base defense, so they're generally not as action-packed or as interesting as regular tank replays. So I don't have anything against tank destroyers, it's just I don't feel that they are as interesting to watch most of the time than normal replays. So when you get a tank destroyer replay on the channel, then obviously it's going to be something slightly special. So just taking up a defensive position overlooking the base here, as a good tank destroyer should do, get himself into a good hidey hole where you can overlook the enemy's approaches and then punish them. So just spots out a Panzer III there, going to give it some time to aim. Unfortunately the guy's reversing and trying to get out of the way. Wow. Almost all of his hit points gone, left with only 2 hit points. That guy's either very lucky or very unlucky surviving that shot, and it almost seems like a bit of a waste of a shell having to spend an entire shell just for 2 hit points, but at the end of the day a kill is a kill. So their team's not really pushing up very much. If you have a look at G and F3 there, it looks like most of the medium and light tanks have decided just to camp on that ridge there rather than pushing forward. They've got a couple of heavy tanks moving up, but they probably aren't going to last very long. On the far southern flank here, that T1 heavy has now been overrun by the Churchill and the other medium tanks there. So just going to have to take a look over, try and support this Covenanter, although if this Covenanter moves out too far, not going to be able to provide much support for him. And as you see there, the guy takes a big shot and has to retreat. As a shot at that T-34, unfortunately misses, as the guy was moving at a fair rate of speed. He gets around behind that Valentine, but this should be curtains for him if he can land a shot here. And there we go, able to take him out. Just going to set himself up and cover this southern flank, even though they've already got 2 tank destroyers on the ridge there and another heavy tank. So really they should have been able to deal with that T-34 a lot earlier than he was dealt with. Just going to spot out this Churchill and the KV-1 moving through the centre. Still, everybody's pretty heavily camping, so the enemy's probably pushed out quite far, especially on the northern flank there. You can see there's pretty much nobody on the northern flank. So this KV-1 just positioned himself nicely behind the rocks there, not able to get a good shot on him. So just going to retreat a little bit in case he's been spotted and try and reposition. And there we go, he's come back out of hiding. Going to see if we can get a shot on him. Nope, luckily he manages to get behind the rocks again as he's dueling with that B1 there. So I'm very surprised that the enemy hasn't swept in from the northern flank there. Maybe they haven't committed many forces to that side either, or the forces they do have on that side are also defending. So not able to get a shot quite on the KV-1, even though this gun has a fantastic arc of fire. As you can see there, it's got a very good angle and a very large amount of degrees it can fire from, so it's able to stay sort of in cover while just angling the gun and still getting shots that for other normal tank destroyers would be almost impossible. Spots out an Su-85B moving into position there. As soon as he can lock on with his reticule there, should be able to take him out no problem. So he knows he's been spotted because that Su-85 took a shot at him, so just going to peek behind the rocks again, trying to get away from this KV-1. The KV-1 for some reason hasn't moved, still sat behind the rocks, probably thinks he's pretty safe there. Unfortunately that is not the case and gets taken out. Although he did manage to take off 2/3 of this guy's hit points with a single shot. But killing that KV-1 takes his kill total up to 4 now. Spots out another KV-1 on the southern flank, and it looks like he has been able to take out all of the tank destroyers on the ridge. So this guy is going to be a little bit dangerous and probably going to play pretty smart. They've got a light tank in there harassing them and destroying all of their artillery, so he must have swept down from the northern ridge, from the actual airfield section, and there we go, taken out by the M3 Lee. So Werewolf's just going to cover this southern flank to try and stop the KV-1 from getting up into the base, as he is the last line of defence down here, apart from that medium tank, but that medium tank was dealing with the light tank. Oh, and the KV-1's turret traverse just too slow. When he realised he'd been spotted there, instead of just sitting out in the open and waiting for his awful turret traverse, he should have reversed back into cover and allowed his turret to traverse back into position before poking out again. So just going to transition up to the northern area now to try and get this M7. If this M7 is pretty tricky, you can get in there, get a little bit of damage and then get away, because this M7 is a very quick medium tank. As you can see, he's just sort of playing peekaboo around this building. Unfortunately, if he gets caught by this Panzer III, which it looks like he has, this could be curtains for him. Just got to make sure he doesn't kill his ally, and there we go. That's kill number 6. So it takes a big hit from the artillery there. Luckily, the splash damage only did... Oh, in fact, it wasn't artillery, it was a Hurtzer with splash damage, obviously using HE rounds there, just damaging both of his tracks, but not actually doing any damage. So, fantastic piece of luck there. So, they're all congregating in the base here. It seems like everybody on this team is just in the base defense mentality. Obviously, they've got somebody nearby spotting, because you can hear somebody is getting pounded by shots there. So just going to speed it up a little bit until the action kicks in again. So Werewolf's just going to cover the southern flank again, try and spot somebody out. Sees this Hurtzer. Unfortunately, the Hurtzer, either through skill or serendipity, able to get behind the rocks and hide. Although it looks like he's going to... Nope, he's not quite going to poke himself out. He's going to sit behind the rocks, and he can obviously see somebody from that angle. And just going to have a few shots at him. So trading shots now with their last remaining heavy tanks, which looks like a KV-1 and a BDR GIB or G1B. G1B. So just going to cover this rock here, because you know for a fact that the Hurtzer's there, and eventually he's going to have to poke his head out, or this game will be a draw. And there we go, pokes his head out and gets taken out, and that's why you need a lot of patience to play a tank destroyer. You've got to sit there focusing on a small area until the enemy makes a mistake before you make a mistake. So yeah, patience really coming into it when playing a tank destroyer. So now that it's only the enemy left with a artillery piece and an M8A1, just going to advance forward and into the enemy's base. The M3 Lee coming up on the left-hand flank there, spots out the Su-26, almost certainly going to be able to get a shot before he realises what's going on, and that is kill number 8. So 8 kills so far for Werewolf 24, absolutely blistering game and fantastic base defence there, just showing what patience and skill and the right positioning can do for a tank destroyer. So apparently the last guy is AFK, so this looks like it's going to be an easy base capture. So absolutely brilliant game there by Werewolf 24, showing the power of a patient tank destroyer driver. Thank you very much for sending that clip in, and thank you to you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.